Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. Welcome to my review of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Wave 3 DLC courses. Since I am quite a Mario Kart guy myself, I feel the need to take a look-see at these new courses, review them, and rank them from worst to best as well since I'm feeling extra nice today. This wave has certainly been a long time coming. Wave 2 was released all the way back in early August. What the heck was Nintendo doing all this time? Probably trying to get Switch Sports Golf out in time. In all seriousness, it seems Nintendo really took their time with this installment of the DLC. Whereas the graphics of the first two waves of the DLC were really jarring compared to the base courses, Wave 3 is also a bit different, but not really a downgrade. There are a lot of weird decisions Nintendo made with the graphics of the DLC courses though. For one, they went for a more plastic look to everything, much more like Mario Kart Tour. I wonder why? For example, there's already grass texture in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know, it's in like a bunch of courses. Yeah, that grass texture. But what did Nintendo use on 3DS Toad Circuit? Oh my god! But thanks to me, and I guess a couple of other upset reviewers, Nintendo slowly cleaned their act up, improving some texture here and there for Wave 2. Now we arrive at Wave 3, and they've really ramped it up. However, while Nintendo has actually made efforts to improve graphics and textures, they are still being straight up dumb in some instances. For example, on 3DS Rainbow Road, Nintendo created completely new textures for the moon. Now while I really appreciate the effort, there's already moon textures in the game that look better. So Nintendo is definitely steadily improving the look of the DLC, but they definitely could work smarter, not harder in some places. But then when I went to record this video, I realized there's a new and improved versus mode. Now, before you pop into a few rounds of versus races, you can select which items you want to use. This is such an amazing feature. It allows for so many more unique gameplay scenarios to play around with. Like, look at this race I did with blue shells, bullet bills, and lightning bolts. It's nuts. I don't know how no one considered this feature to the game in the past, but it is such a refreshing addition to Mario Kart. They really hit it out of the park with this one simple feature, and it changed so much about the game. Kinda sucks that you can't use it online though. Anyways, enough babbling, let's get into the courses themselves. How are they? London Loop is the first Wave 3 DLC course, and is better than a spot of tea on a Tuesday with some beans and toast. So it's fine. I'm usually a sucker for these tour tracks based around real locations, but with this one it's different. It takes us around all the popular English locales, such as Double-Decker Bus and Drawbridge. However, I don't really feel as much love for this course as I thought I would. I mean, it has 3 totally unique laps through London with branching paths and all. Look at the map for this thing! But for some reason, it just didn't really click with me, and I didn't enjoy it that much. That's not to say it was horrible, I really liked some of the sections of the course. But when picking European cities to make courses out of, Nintendo really fumbled the bag by choosing London. There's not a lot of distinction here. Almost everything here, right down to the music, is bland and not really memorable in the slightest. Like, I literally forgot most of this track the second I finished it and had to go back and watch my gameplay to try and remember how I felt about it, which is a really bad sign when I'm playing this course specifically to review. Don't worry though, Nintendo makes a huge recovery with the city track later. Next course up is Boo Lake. For as simple as this track was in the GBA version, Nintendo really gave it a massive upgrade. While the track layout wasn't changed dramatically, we now see ourselves going through underwater and anti-gravity sections on this track, not just a flat boardwalk without a lake. Yeah, somehow Nintendo forgot the whole lake part of Boo Lake the first time around. No biggie, it's only 50% of what's advertised. Totally not a big deal or anything. What really makes this course great for me though is the atmosphere. The eerie music, the dark, simply lit docks, the fish bones littering the oceans, the boos on the lake, the dark forest in the distance, it's great! The only problem I see with the atmosphere is that the spooky mansion in the distance seems to not belong to the green mustachioed fella. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually happen to be a Luigi's Mansion fan. I've mentioned it a couple times. And as a Luigi's Mansion fan, it disappoints me that there are now not 1, but 2 missed opportunities in Mario Kart 8 alone for Luigi's Mansion to be featured as a racetrack. And I don't count the battle track. Do better, Nintendo. But back to the track itself. Boo Lake's layout is slightly on the simple side. It's not as offensive as some of the other tracks in this DLC, but it's definitely noticeable. The atmosphere really saves it though. Okay, up next is Rock Mountain. Can you tell I did custom items on this one? I really like this course. It's nothing too crazy, it's just plain fun. You go through a cave like in Choco Mountain, followed by a gliding section like in Choco Mountain, then you dodge rocks like in Choco Mountain. So, now not exactly the best choice to put both of these courses in the DLC. They're too similar to warrant both being in this game. So while Rock Mountain is a solid course, it wasn't really a necessary addition in this case. This spot could have been filled with a much more unique Mario Kart 7 course like Wario Shipyard or Shy Guy Bazaar, but alas, we got Choco Mountain 2. Last but certainly not least for the Rock Cup is Maple Treeway. Of all the courses in Wave 3, this has got to be the one with the most hype surrounding it. But does it deliver? I'd say absolutely. Not only was this the return of an iconic course from Mario Kart's past, but also the return of the beloved halfpipe. In Mario Kart Wii, halfpipes were a nice way of adding to the extreme sports feel of that game. While Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't lean into that theme as much, I think having halfpipes in this game is just a simple way to make courses more fun. As for the rest of the track, it's good old Maple Treeway. The graphical overhaul is especially well done for this course. It's one of the best looking in the DLC. Combined with the fact that this is, you know, Maple Treeway, and this is a total recipe for success. Also, I'd be stupid not to mention this new music. It's incredible. That little bit of harmonica that they added brings a little twang to it. It really elevates it. And that's the end of the Rock Cup. Overall, I'd say it's a very good cup, despite my criticisms of it. It started off kinda weak, but delivered by the end of it. Even though this cup was good, I'd say that the Rock Cup is still worse than what the Moon Cup has in store for us. Let's take a look-see. But before we get to that, let's hear a word from our sponsor, me. Are you a fan of me and my amazing and awesome videos and you want to support me? Introducing my Patreon. For just a couple bucks a month, you can get your name featured in videos, join my new and improved Discord server with special roles, and participate in polls to help me make decisions for upcoming videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, you have a couple bucks to spare and you want to support me, please click the link in the description below and join today. Back to the video. Remember when I mentioned that Nintendo made a huge recovery when picking city tracks from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Well, Berlin Byways is that recovery. Everything about this course is done far better than in London Loop. There's better locales, such as the subway station and that important German building that I can't pronounce the name of. The graceful yet upbeat music makes me feel like it's a nice summer day and I'm breezing through Germany on my Vespa. The only criticism I have for this track is that I wish some of the cars were coming at you instead of all going the same path as you. They changed this in Shroom Ridge too, and it really takes away from the chaos. Other than that, as long as you don't ask other racers who Dry Bones served here in 1942, Berlin Byways is a fantastic track. As a huge Mario Kart DS fan, seeing that Peach Gardens was going to return for this DLC made me very happy. This course is highly underrated. I think it's one of the most charming Mario Kart courses ever made. But nothing could have prepared me for how much better Nintendo made this track in Mario Kart 8. It was such a simple trick, but it added so much to this classic track. See, the first 2 laps of Peach Gardens are business as usual, with improved music and actual trimmed hedges this time. But then, on lap 3, we go backwards. Doesn't seem like a big deal, and then all of a sudden we're gliding over this beautiful hedge maze of classic Nintendo characters and you got the Chain Chomps scurrying around those little guys. I didn't think that this small of a change could do so much to improve this already charming track, but it did. I was happily surprised with how well Peach Gardens was improved. Nintendo did a great job. Up next is Merry Mountain, yay. Since this wave of the DLC was released near Christmas, I was expecting this track to really put me in the Christmas mood. It definitely did do that well. The little inviting town at the beginning, the candy cane lamps and candles illuminating the track with a cheerful glow, the presents throughout the track, it's all great. But boy oh boy was I disappointed by everything else. If it weren't for the Christmas theming of this track, I guarantee you not one person would even give it a second glance. The layout is basic and it feels like it doesn't do anything with the Christmas theme. Not even the music reminds me of anything vaguely Christmas related. There's nothing distinctive about it. I think the track would have been way more unique if there was a section where you like drove up and around a mountain or like the pile of presents and then came gliding out the top. Something in like Polar Express. But no, most of the track you're just on a dirt path. The only part I somewhat enjoyed was the ski slope section because it actually gives me a glimpse into how amazing this track could have been. But sadly, Merry Mountain just ended up being a disappointment. But then all of a sudden this next course does a full 180 when we arrive at the final track. 3DS Rainbow Road. This was easily the most ambitious course in the DLC thus far, and it delivers. I love the texture they used for the road. It looks really beautiful. Before this point, I feel like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Rainbow Roads weren't easy on the eyes. But the way the road looks, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Everything about this course is terrific. The bombastic music as you make a trip around the solar system is so fitting. Riding the rings of Saturn, hopping around the craters of the moon, and dodging meteors, it all makes for such a memorable experience. This is easily my new favorite Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 8. I have no complaints. And with that, we've reached the end of the Wave 3 DLC tracks. To rank these bad boys from worst to best, my list would be Merry Mountain, Rock Mountain, London Loop, Boo Lake, Berlin Byways, Peach Gardens, Maple Treeway, and Rainbow Road. Overall, I'd give this wave of the DLC as a whole an 8 out of 10. I'm delighted that Nintendo finally started stepping it up on the Mario Kart DLC. Anyways, what do you guys think of Wave 3? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.